Welcome back to the Digital Imaging channel. I'm Will, and today we're going to be looking at how you can tell the difference between original and duplicate microfiche. First, we'll talk about the description of what microfiche is. And microfiche are little sheets of images, and they're typically about this size, 4 by 6 inches roughly, and they contain reduced size images of original records that were photographed to get onto these little sheets. Microfiche were used and are used as a storage medium, so instead of having the full-size documents taking up a lot of space and room, you have these reduced size images on these little sheets, so you can have a lot of records in a small space. There are many different types of microfiche. There's jacket microfiche, which typically come in 16 and 35 millimeter. Then there's COM, or computer output microfilm microfiche, and that means they were already digitized images that were then put onto microfiche sheets. There's step and repeat fiche, oversized fiche, 105 millimeter, vesicular, many different types of microfiche. Today we're going to focus on the jacket fiche and COM. The original microfiche record is also sometimes referred to as source microfiche, and that's because it's the original source, the original version of the microfiche record. And typically when you hear someone say source, they're usually referring to jacket microfiche. Although it can apply to other types, it usually means jacket fiche when someone says, oh, it looks like you have source fiche. Duplicate microfiche, or also called dupes, is just a copy of that original record. And the reason you have a duplicate is in case something happened to the original copy, you have that backup, or you have the originals stored away because you can continue making dupes from those originals, and you use your current set of dupes for day-to-day activities, like if these are records where the public can get to or they're high use. You can use the dupes instead of the originals, so you always have that nice clean record to make additional dupes if something happens to one of the ones that you're using on an ongoing basis. The way to tell the difference between originals and dupes when we're talking about jacket microfiche, on the original copy, jacket fiche will have actual openings on the side of it. So if the right reading side is over here, you're looking at right reading images, and here's the sheet. On this side, there are 5 channels in 5-channel jacket fiche if it's 16 millimeter, or if it's 35 millimeter, it'll be 2 channels. You can actually kind of move the sheet and there's an opening. So when you're making jacket fiche, what originally is created is a reel of microfilm, and then strips are cut to then be loaded into this jacket through those channels. So when you have the original, it's actually the little openings that you can take the film strips in or out. A duplicate fiche will not have those because you're making a photographic copy, just a dupe of that. It'll just be a single sheet with those images. You'll actually still be able to see where the channels were, but they won't be able to be opened because that duplicate is just a single sheet with the images on it, compared to the original, the source fiche, that has the openings where you can move images in and out. When you're talking about COM microfiche, one way to potentially differentiate source from a duplicate is you'll have a color stripe across the top, or you'll have different shades of images on the actual fiche. It's a little harder to tell. Jacket fiche is very simple though. Again, if you have openings, you can actually move something in and out of those channels. That's an original. If it's a single sheet and you can still see those channels, that's a duplicate. You may be wondering, does it matter what kind of fiche you have? If you have originals or duplicates, maybe you have both. If you're gonna be digitally scanning your fiche records, if you only have the original copy, that's it, you're gonna scan that. If you only have a dupe, you're only gonna scan that. That's all you have. But if you have both copies, we typically recommend scanning the originals because that is the earlier generation of the image. If you have a duplicate, it's just an extra iteration away from the original record, and the quality may not be, or likely is not, as good as the source fiche. So if you do have both types, we recommend going with the originals, keeping the dupes for your backup or to continually use, but scanning the originals because you're gonna get a better quality digital image from that original copy. And that's how you can tell if you have either original or duplicate fiche. Hope you got some good information from this to help you while you're deciding how to move forward scanning. Thank you for joining. I'm Will. This is the Digital Imaging channel, and we look forward to seeing you next time.